Hey guys, Richard here. So we all know pretty much someone who's working on a side hustle, but a lot of the times people just don't have the time to work on both a full-time hustle and a side hustle. So it's a lot of balancing time act. You can't simply put full-time hours into a side hustle unless you don't sleep, for example. A lot of videos out there are especially focusing on people who do have the time and they're proclaiming making 100k a year, but a lot of the times you're just doing that because you're taking a dive in deep end and going full-time on your side hustles. But a lot of the times people just don't want to do that, right? So in this video I'm kind of looking at the other way, where you're still keeping a full-time job but working on those few extra sources of income that you can generate from side hustling. So for me personally, I'm going to go over all my sources of income, and obviously it's not going to be $1 million or whatever. I'm going to show you how I think about things and how I balance my time. I have a lot of social commitments. I'm sure you do as well. So let's get straight into the video. Hopefully this is a short one. I'm just going to show you my sources of income and how I think about it. Okay, so before I get straight into it, I kind of want to go through the mindset of how I do things, especially right now because I'm working on a side startup and that's taking a lot of my time as well, and that's generating, actually going backwards, it's not generating any income for me. It's costing me money, right? So a lot of the times, if you have a side startup, this is like kind of a good video for you, because if you're looking to do a side startup, balance a full-time job and make some money on the side, then this is pretty important on how you want to structure things. So try to go for a minimum you want to make. So for me personally, I want to make at least 2,000 a month, so minimum, and so from side hustles, that is, so I can put that money into a webcam for my streaming, money into the startup and all that stuff, so I can reinvest my full-time earnings into my private life, like paying off a mortgage, buying a car, for example. So for me, I like to separate those things. I like to use the bonus money I make from side incomes to reinvest into myself or reinvest into any businesses that I'm trying to run. So that's how I structure things. So I'm going to go straight into my sources of income now. But hopefully that kind of gives you a perspective. You kind of want to get a minimum. You kind of want to understand how much time you're willing to put into your side hustles that are making money, and then putting a minimum and then aiming to reach at least that minimum for that month. Okay, so the first one I'm going to go through is Medium. A lot of people actually have attempted to write a Medium. I think it's a great platform to start off with, especially if you want to start dipping your toes in writing kind of gigs. A lot of the times you just don't have a portfolio to start off with, and you just can't simply go on a freelancing site and pitch that you can write unless you do it for a living. So a lot of the times I've seen people do it on a Medium. I started on Medium personally. I generate around $200 to $1,000. So if you just look here, you can see here, it's a really on and off experience for me. So obviously last year I did make quite a lot, but once again, it really depends on how much effort you want to put into it and what you want to write about. If you're smart about it, you can earn a lot more if you write about topics which cover a lot more bigger spectrum and people want to click on it. Almost kind of borderline clickbait, but not really. So you want to be careful about that. But yeah, if you want to try it out, try Medium. Remember to apply for the partner program first, because obviously that's where you get paid. But yeah, it's a great platform to start off with. I still write on it. I still make around $200 to $1,000 depending on how much effort I want to put into it. It's always a bit of extra cash in the pocket, and you never know. Sometimes your article will hit viral and you might earn a lot more from it. So yeah, check out Medium, and so yeah. Okay, so the second platform I use is Newsbreak. So Newsbreak is a new platform. They just came out around recently. They're basically a localized news creator site for the US at least. But anyone outside the US can also apply. I'm Australian, for example. Their platform basically allows creators to come on and pitch articles, and then if they get accepted, they get paid a minimum. So for example, it's either $25 or $60 USD. So for $60, if your content score is high, for example in this one here, if it's below 5, if it's a 4 for example, you only get paid $25. So it depends on the quality of your articles. The more localized, the higher you get paid. So their contract is a maximum earning of up to 1.5k. So obviously if you post too many articles, you're not going to get above that. So you might as well just hit the cap every month and then just work your way towards the next month. Their contract lasts around 3 months. However, I've got it elongated to 6 months. So figure, I don't know. That's how, I guess they just prefer people to stay on right now. So yeah, so that's one way of earning. If you write on Medium, if you write on Vocal, if you're a blogger, if you do any type of writing or you've done some type of writing in the past, apply for it. I'll put a link below in the description. You can just apply for it and see if you get in the program. If you get in the program, it's a great way of creating money right now. Normally, I would not be doing this. I'll be freelancing to make up the rest of my minimum of 2K trying to hit. But because I have this offer right now, I don't have to do much freelancing work, to be honest. So it's been a pretty good ride to hit that minimum 2K. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with things. But yeah, we'll keep moving on. I have other sources of income to cover. Okay, Q&A sites. So you can make around $300 to $500 depending on how much time you want to put. I put $300 to $500 because that's how much I've made around. I did it 1 month challenge, which is another video, and I made around $435 just doing it pretty casually, to be honest. So you can make pretty decent money from it. I use usertesting.com as my main website, and there's also other ones like Try My UI, Respondent, which I've made money from as well. So check it out. Q&A sites are definitely an easy money grab, especially if you want to get that minimum. So if you're only trying to get that $500 minimum, Q&A site's a great place to start, and then you can work on other things slowly, like build up your Medium profile and stuff like that. So definitely a good side hustle site if you're just trying to make money. Definitely not really building up your skill set, but it's probably the easiest way to make money without building any specific skill set, to be honest. So yeah, check it out. Definitely, it's a great way to start off with. So yeah. Okay, so dividend earnings. It's a very commonly used strategy, and people talk about so much that I'm not going to go through a lot. I'm just going to talk about myself quickly and then give you the one kind of mindset that you should think about. I earn around $100 to $500 per month on it right now, as you can see here, depending on what stock is paid out. And for example, now the only thing you kind of need to think about is if you're generating all this side income, what should you reinvest it in? Now, a lot of times people just don't have the answer. For me personally, I'm investing into a lot of my side stuff that I'm doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, then and you have the luxury of reinvesting money back into something, look at stocks or look at index funds that paid good dividends, because over time that's going to compound. And if you can keep putting it in and every year you're making more, that's going to keep going up and you're going to keep making more money. So think about that. It's a whole strategy that people talk about all the time, compounding. So yeah, take a look at it if you don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm not going to go over that much anymore because there's so many other videos on it, but that's just some food for thought. Okay, and the last one is freelancing. Now, I actually think freelancing is a great way to build up your portfolio as well as make a bit of money. This is especially important if you don't have a strong portfolio in the beginning. I see a lot of freelancers who've been successful are actually just university students who've just decided to, go, I'm going to make some money, I'm going to start from the ground and build my portfolio up. And it's a great way to make money, definitely using sites like Upwork and Fiverr to start off with and then branching out. I personally have people who have like a middleman that I go to that find clients, so I don't have to find the clients myself because I hate it, to be honest. They always take a cut, but it means that I don't have to do any of that stuff, and I just write, and they give me contracts and I write for them, right? So it really depends on how you want to do it, all up to you. But definitely look at freelancing as another way of kind of subsidizing the extra income. And I think it's probably one of the better ways to build up your portfolio because you can tailor it depending on what you want to do in the future, especially around your full-time work. And it's a great way just to buff up your portfolio. So yeah, or your resume. So yeah, great way to look at it. Once again, I'm not doing it right now, but I used to do it. Alright, so hopefully that's it. As you can see here, I kind of focus on two things. I focus on diversifying my income sources, and I focus on getting a minimum every month. Now, the reason why I like to diversify instead of focusing everything into one thing, apart from freelancing, if you're focusing too much on a Q&A site, or if you're focusing on Newsbreak, or you're focusing on Medium, the problem is you're relying on that one platform, and if that platform fails, that's your sources of income just cut, right? Obviously, with freelancing dividends, it's okay, but even with freelancing, if one of your clients that pays you the most decides to go, you know what, there's no budget this year, sorry, you're gone, that's one big kind of client that's gone, and then you might not be able to earn or find another client, right? So it's always good to diversify your income sources, and once again, always go for a goal. When you first start off with, for example, my first goal was making just a few $100s a month. Start off easy. Don't give yourself a hard time. Don't put a huge goal. Start off easy and make your way every month. A month goes by so quickly that you have the luxury of moving your goal up slowly over time. You don't even need to move it up if you don't want to. It all depends on why and what you want to use your money on. I had someone reach out to me who just simply wanted to make $500 a month to pay off some bills, and I gave him some options, and now he's doing that, and that's all he wants, right? That's all he cares about. he still has a full-time job and doesn't have the luxury of spending the rest of his time on other side hustles, and because he has a kid, I think. So yeah, so really up to you how you want to do things. But yeah, hopefully this video gives you some insights and how I at least generate some of my sources of income, and hopefully you can generate your wealth in the future as well. Thanks.